Yeah. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Purananam Alayam Namame Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya Sarvairnidanam Jagatohamascha Vachyah Prabhuh Kaschidapara Chitretralokyancha vilokitacha patah prakashopyabhavatsa ekaha. So this is the third verse, but it has two topics. The first verse has 8, the second verse has 4. 12 topics we finished. Now two more topics. So the first two lines are one topic. So look around. There is what is called Jagat. In English you call it world. Why world is called world? I don't know. There must be some etymology for it. I asked an English professor, why wife is called wife? He said, I don't know. I don't know. Why husband is called husband? That also I don't know. Why there is not even one letter common between husband and wife? He said, I don't know. There must be some reason. There must be something. If you go to the Latin or Greek or Indo-European, some other, the fossilized language root, if you go there, you will find some meaning there. Some of the words are indeed known, etymology is known. Like science, the etymology is known. Like that, many words are known in English, but not all. But when it comes to Sanskrit, every single word is known etymologically. That's why Sanskrit is not only highly phonetic language, but also highly etymological language. Like Jagat, Gacchati, iti Jagat. Okay? So that Gacchati, that gum, so gets doubled, and mu will go, and ga becomes ja, and then Tugagama, tuk will come. So it becomes Jagat. So you can build the word like that. So Dhatuna Manekarthatvam, Gacchati mane what? Ever changing. In fact, Jagat is not a thing. As long as you think Jagat as a thing, then the Mithyatva Buddhi, understanding that the Jagat is unreal, comes difficult. Don't look at Jagat as a thing. It doesn't mean also. The word doesn't mean also. Jagat is a change. That is what Jagat is. Suppose you go to the movie, or you sit in the TV screen. Sometimes you know what happens? One scene, it gets frozen. It doesn't change. It will be sitting there. Now, do you like that TV program? It is not changing, So Jagat is like that. Jagat is not frozen. It is never like the frozen film. It is ever moving and moving and moving and moving. Ever. A philosopher said, you don't take dip in the same river twice. Because you take a dip and stand up, and before you take the dip one more time, the river has changed. You call it with a name and you assume that the name is not the thing, the word is not the thing. So it has already changed. A new river has come in its place. So you don't take a dip in the same river twice. That river, like Jagat is that river like, ever changeful. That's why the Jagat is called phenomenal. That is the name given to it. Sanskrit is Jagat, English translation, world, is not a nice translation. It is not a complete translation. It is a translation, all right, but not complete. The complete translation would be phenomenal world. That is perfect. Or you can simply say, make the adjective into a noun, the phenomenal. That is what Jagat is, the phenomenal. Okay, not the phenomenon. Phenomenon means one of the things. The phenomenal, that is the way. English also you should know correctly. The phenomenal, that is the Jagat. It is all around us. Then I am there, because without me Jagat is not there. Jagataha ahamascha. I am there. Shashti ekvachanam. Jagataha, to the world, to myself. Ahamaha. This is not asmat shabda, some Sanskrit, Asmat shabda it is not. Asmat shabda shashti will be mama, not ahamaha. It is aham shabda. Aham, ahamau, ahamaha, like that. Shashti ekavachanam. Ahamaha. Okay, to me, of myself. So here is the Jagat and here I am. Even I am also changeful. I mean, the very foundation of I amness is not changeful, not in that sense. The way we take ourselves, like myself. Now you look at myself, you look at your own myself and see whether it is changeful or not. It is changeful. It is caught in the net of time and flowing in the net of time. Therefore, on a mini scale, the myself is also changeful. It is also phenomenal on a mini scale, not the inner awareness, okay? The pure being is not changeful. I am not talking of that. I am not talking of Satchit. I am talking of the ego downwards. Ego, intellect, emotions, organs of action, sense organs, the body, the whole gamut is changeful. It is the phenomenal. Then there is a law. All people won't accept this law. This is a Vedantic law. Again, as precise as any mathematical or physical law. The law is all phenomena necessarily presuppose a noumenon. Means all put in different words, all change happens against the background of the changeless. That is the law. Therefore, Jagat and myself, the changeful, only two, Jagat and myself, the changeful. No, what about all others? They are Jagat. They are the Jagat. You are the only knower. Everybody else is the known, part of the Jagat. So, myself, the Jagat. So, this is the phenomenal. Subject and object, both are phenomenal. Subject is changeful, object is also changeful. So, this changeful thing, the subject-object duality, ever-changing, this must have a changeless noumenon as its origin. It must have. Because when a thing is changing, it must originate from something which doesn't change. Like ornaments, like a necklace is there. Now you melt it down and change to armlets, and then melt it down and change to some other ornament. So the ornaments are changing. Can you effect that change without the noumenon called gold? You cannot. Therefore, there must be a noumenon which is the origin of the changeful Jagat and myself, Jiva Jagat in a way. That is called a Nidanam. Everybody should accept a noumenon, which is the origin of Jagat and myself. Sarvai, all should accept. All means what? There are many schools of thought, and many of them are very vociferous. They are highly vocal, highly argumentative. In fact, there is a book called The Argumentative Indian by Amartya Sen. Very wonderful, very nicely written book. So, the Indians are like that. They always argue. In Europe, at one time, in Europe, you are not supposed to argue. In fact, you are not supposed to speak. You are not supposed to think. The Vatican will decide what to be, what to think. There is no how to think. What to think, Vatican will decide, and everybody should follow. Vatican said the earth was created 6000 BC. So you should follow. You cannot say, I found a fossil which is 10,000 BC. You should not talk like that. Earth was created by God 6000 BC. Then somebody, in Spanish Inquisition times, if somebody said that there are things 10,000 BC old, then he will be put in jail or burnt on the stake. Very severe punishments will be meted out. But later, some relaxations came. Then somebody said, no, we found a fossil 10,000 year old. Then the Vatican said, no, Bhagavan has put that fossil there. While making the earth 6000 BC, he put the fossil which is 10,000 BC. So, you should not think. You should not think. And you should believe. You should follow. Believe and follow are not the same. This is the time, medieval times in Europe, and some of that attitude you find in Abrahamic faiths, and some of it is imported into India. You look at that. India has acquired some of that quality. And today, the way the religion is practiced, the religious leaders, the gurus, and the heads of the religious institutions behave something like akin to Vatican of the medieval period. The only thing is punishments are not given, only that much. So, it is all a digression. Therefore, the point is, there is a noumenon and everybody accepts it. It is not a belief. It is not a belief. When we say a law, it is not a belief. So, like the apple falls from the tree onto the earth because of the law of gravity. There is a power of attraction. Earth is attracting, and everything is attracted towards the center of the earth. Is that a belief? It is not a belief. It is an understanding. No, you show me how the center of the earth is attracting the apple, you show me. No, that is not how you argue, okay? Therefore, it's not a belief, it is an understanding. And everybody accepts that there is a noumenon, which is the origin of this world, including myself. Everybody accepts. Sarvaihi jagataha ahamascha nidanam vachyaha. Now, Nidanam should be Vachyam. Why with this Vachyaha? Nidanam is Nitya Napumsaka. But that Nidanam, the cause, the origin, is Prabhu. That's why Vachyaha. That Pumlinga, you have to connect it like that, Unless the Linga is in place, the Vyakarana cannot move forward. That's why. So, Prabhu, Nidanam, the originating cause, is all powerful. Prabhu. Now you should not immediately start Prabhu, means the local Prabhus are there, Prabhu is the boss. Prabhu is the boss. Local bosses are there. Now how do they look like? 2 hands and 2 legs, etc. Therefore that boss also will have 2 hands and 2 legs. Maybe you make a slightly different, 4 hands or 3 eyes. Kya hai bhai? Sometimes what was metaphorically said, Shiva Pancha. Panchabhutas are called Panchamukhas. Metaphor it is. The artist is not interested in metaphor. Now a sculptor, will he go by metaphor or will he go by the literal? You tell me. He will go by the literal. If he goes by the metaphor, he has no sculpture to do. Okay. So he goes by the literal and made a form with 5 heads. Now look at that. And somebody makes a form with 3 heads. Somebody makes with 2 heads. Have their own genders. Linguistic gender should not be converted into biological gender. If you do that, you have not understood the spirit of the language. Like in Sanskrit, Vrukshaha is masculine, and therefore you put a human form and can write Vrukshaha below. Or you take a tree and somehow put human features into it. Will you do that? Lata is feminine. So take a photo of the creeper and put feminine features in it. A woman lying down like that, you want to put it like that. Not necessary all that. Okay. Chalo, all digressions. Coming back to the point, everybody agrees. What do you mean by everybody? You see, we are Vedantins. We are students of Vedanta. We have to maintain a certain standard. So, suppose two people are arguing. One person says, God is, there is God. Another person says, there is no God. Now, which side do you want to take? You should not take any side. So somebody asked me, are you a Nastika, a Swami? I said, no. Nastika means no God. Take it like that. Don't come with some other definition. I know it. I know you are very clever. The entire game is known to me. So, Swami, are you a Nastika? Certainly not. Because Aham Brahmasmi, you know. So it sounds like Nastika. Then you must be a Nastika? No. Oh, you are not a Nastika. The questioner was okay, but somebody else who was listening, he was stunned. Arey, you are not a Nastika. Yeah, I am not a Nastika. I am not Astika. Not Nastika. Then who are you? I am an Advaita. Advaya. Not Advaita Vadi. I am not an Advaita Vadi. Advaita is not a school of thought for me. Advaita is Swarupa. So I am Advaya. Advaya Atma. That is what I am. I am not an Astika. Or I am not an Nastika. Nastika means what? There is somebody sitting there. No, I don't accept. That is Nastika. There is really somebody sitting there. Like just now he went and met him and came. That is the Astika. Both are talking something out of the head. Therefore we don't interfere with that. We rise above this kind of opposites. You followed the point? So if Vedantins believe that they have to join hands with Astikas and fight against Nastikas, or join hands with one religious group to fight against another religious group, you are not Vedantin. You are what you are. You have come down from Vedanta. You have put aside the Vedanta. Vedanta is not samas sarveshu bhuteshu. So Vedanta is something different. So the point is, even the Nastikas agree an originating cause. Sarvai. I am saying with some meaning only. Appears like a digression, but still connected. All agree. Vachyaha. Everybody should agree. Sarvaihi vachyaha. Agree about what? About an originating cause. Nidanam. And that must be all powerful too. All should agree. In fact, all agree. Vedantins agree. Everybody agrees. Sankhyas agree. Sankhyas say that a Nidanam, that all powerful, they give a name to it, it is Pradhanam. Even Karma Mimamsakas agree in a way. They don't agree Ishvara. They are Brahmanastikas. They don't agree Brahma. Karma Mimamsakas, Jaimini, Kumarla Bhatta, and Saraswathi, they don't agree Ishvara. They are Nastikas in that sense. They agree Veda. Therefore, they want to call themselves Astikas. But if you follow Panini's definition, Asti Tishtam Matihi Ityadi, then they become Nastikas. And Ratanaprabhakara in Samanvayadhikaranam called Mimamsakas as Brahmanastikas. They are Nastikas. Anyway, but yet they too agree. There is something which is all powerful, the origin of the Jagat, and that is karma. That is how they agree. Then the Nayayikas and Vaisheshikas, both of them agree. They say it is Paramanu. 4 kinds of Paramanus, 4 of them. Why 4? That is what they thought. That is what they thought. 4 element model. So it is a good model, subjective. The model is based on the subject. Subject has 5 organs and therefore 5 elements. And that is the 5 element model. And for them it occurred that Akasha may not have Paramanus. Akasha made of Paramanus. They were a bit unsure of that. Prithvi made of Paramanus. That is, looks all right. Okay, you also think Prithvi made of atoms. Good. Good, right? Water made of atoms. All right. Vayu made of atoms. All right. Agni also take like that. Okay. Don't think too much. Okay, made of atoms. Akasha, that cannot be made of atoms. Therefore they said 4 atoms. 5 bhutas, but 4 atoms. And then what is the origin of these atoms? No, they don't have origin. Means they were not born. So somewhere you have to say birthless. At some point you have to say birthless. So they said the atoms are nitya. They are birthless. Meaning timeless. Birthless same as timeless. Atoms are nitya. So that is how they said the nidanam, the originating cause is the atoms. So paramanu jagad akaranatvaadhikaranam. Like that there is an adhikarana in Brahma Sutra in which Paramanus, that is the atoms, okay, are the cause of the universe is refuted. Okay, but they assume like that. These are Indian people, okay. Then within India, Buddhists, not Buddha, Buddhists. Buddha is an Atmavadi. Buddhists are, they come under Nastikas, of some kind of a Nastikas. So, among the Buddhists there are many sects again. And one sect, within sect there will be sects again. Mahayana, Hinayana, Vajrayana, like that. So many will be there. Broadly speaking, many of these sects subscribe to the viewpoint that Vijnana is the origin of this universe. Vijnanavadi. Dalai Lama is one of the greatest Vijnanavadis. So Vijnana is the mind stuff. Take it like that. They are idealists. Idealism is a philosophy. So they have agreed that they have subscribed to the view that Vijnana, the mind stuff are, strictly speaking, I mean, if you translate it correctly, the knowing stuff, that is the Vijnana. Some stuff, not made of some physical thing, it is very subtle, obviously. It is a stuff that has this quality of knowing stuff, Vijnana. And that is the origin of this universe, all powerful. Can it create mountain? Yeah. Vijnana creates mountain. In sleep, you create mountain, right? You created a mountain. And that mountain came from your Vijnana. Yeah, okay, so not a problem. No, what about this mountain? That also came from your Vijnana. You have to look at it and say mountain. You said it is mountain, or it said I am mountain. You said it is mountain. So it came from your Vijnana. You should be able to think on these lines. Some thinking is required, sirs. No, we don't think. Our Guru will think. We don't think. This formula doesn't work. You have to think. Take the help of Guru. Poor Guru, how many times he can think on behalf of all these bhaktas? If the bhaktas start thinking themselves, then the Guru will be happy person. Anyway, so Vijnana. And then there is another sect among the among the Buddhas, followers of Buddha. So they said Shunya, Shunyata, they say, is the origin of this universe. Now, that is something. Like we say, who discovered zero? In mathematics, it's a big discovery it is. Zero. Who discovered zero? India discovered zero. Now, so if it's zero's discovery, there was no Nobel Prize at that time. Otherwise they would have given. Like that they wrote. I have read somewhere. Discovery of zero. Then the shunya must be something. If zero has such a mathematically great value, importance, the shunya, I am amused by this shunya. So they said, shunya is the origin of this universe. What kind of shunya? Can it create this? Yes, Prabhu, apara shakti. So that is the origin of this universe. Then there are people who are called cosmologists or astronomers, are also called astrophysicists. For God's sake, don't confuse them with astrologers. Astrologers are another tribe which has nothing to do with science. Okay? Don't confuse with that tribe. So astronomers, astrophysicists, or even cosmologists, they have their own thinking about it. So they said there was a primordial Ilem. Okay, thank you, sir. A primordial Ilem. The spelling is Y-L-E-M, the Sanskrit Buddhi, Ilem. So the primordial Ilem, how does it, how would it look like? No, you cannot describe it. They speak the language of Upanishads, I tell you. You cannot describe it. It is all powerful. How much powerful? Infinite. And density is also infinite. Because it is it is like a point, it has to expand and you get the world. Therefore it is a crunch, big crunch. Big bang jagat, big crunch is the primordial Ilem. So it is infinite density. Don't ask about dimensions, infinite density, infinite power. And that is the origin of this universe. Now, how the universe came from it? Did it come by a big bang or what? Like that one person questioned. When this thesis was put forward by a philosopher, somebody ridiculously questioned. I think Fred Hoyle was against this thesis. Fred Hoyle was a great philosopher, great cosmologist. He was opposed to this thesis. He was a steady state theory physicist. He must have ridiculed, or his colleague, one of his colleagues ridiculed in London. Oh, you mean to say the Jagat has come from that Ilem, by a big bang? In a ridiculous way, he asked. That stuck. The Big Bang stuck. Yes, that infinite that Ilem of infinite density, and temperature is infinite, energy is infinite. You cannot describe that energy. You cannot describe it in any other way. And indescribable, unimaginable. It has no time in it. It has no space in it. It is spaceless, timeless. In a big bang, it gave birth to space, time, and the world. They did not call it God, except saying G-O-D, God. The entire description nicely fits into a God of a theologian. So they too subscribe to the same thing. Now, where does Ramana put himself? Now, what is the thesis to which Ramana subscribes? He doesn't subscribe to any of these theses. He says all these people, they propose like this, and they have to say like that. They give different names. One person said Shiva, another person said Vishnu, another person said Brahma. These are the Pauranikas. Then if you go to the Veda, they have said Hiranyagarbha. All the three fused into one. There are no three in Veda, three in Purana. In Veda only one, Brahmadeva, same. But he is not called Brahmadeva, called Hiranyagarbha. And that includes everything. Hiranyagarbha is the Vishnu, is the Shiva, is the Brahmadeva, everything. Mainly Brahmadeva. So, like that they said, so many names are given. Then other people, Ganesha Purana says Ganesha is the origin of the universe. Not Shiva, Ganesha. Ganesha is the origin. How Ganesha? You have to go to Ganesha Purana and see. Vamana Purana says Vamana is the origin. Vamana is the small, is the origin of the big. like a seed origin of the tree. So, like that they argue, all these things are there. So, the Maharshi makes one conclusion. Everybody seems to agree about one thing. Names differ, sometimes even the descriptions differ. Names certainly differ, but they all must agree, seem to agree. Vachyaha means should agree that there is a power. Let us call it the cosmic power or the universal power, which is the origin of this Jagat. And bhaktas, what is bhakti? Bhakti is not a ritual. You may do a ritual with bhakti. So bhakti is the motive, could be a motive for the ritual. When desire is the motive for ritual, then bhakti is not the motive for ritual. Fear is the motive for ritual, then also bhakti is not the motive for ritual. When there is no desire and there is no fear, yet you are doing a ritual or worship, there you can say bhakti is the motive for that ritual. Therefore, even the bhakta, this is bhakti. Bhakti is understanding, Bhakti is understanding. Bhaktya maam abhijanati. So bhakti is understanding. Understanding is bhakti. Bhakti is understanding. Understanding is bhakti. Like that. Anyway, so bhaktas should understand this. What is the bhakti? You are devoted to what? You are devoted to what? Provisionally you may put a photograph there if you wish. If you feel the need for it, go ahead and do it. In India we don't stop anything. You are welcome. Indian society and the Hindu dharma is the most democratic in the world. Therefore you can put a photograph, we are not opposing it. But a photograph can only be significant, don't forget that. Don't take the photo literally. Photo or image, don't take it literally. So you have to say there is a power, higher power. I call it higher power, or cosmic power, universal power, that makes the fire burn. The fire which is burning, that power makes the fire burn, and the wind blow, and the water flow, that power. The power makes the seeds sprout, and makes the sprouts grow into plants and trees. And that power makes this speaker speak. And the power makes the shrotas listen. The same power. And so there is nothing personal. There is nothing personal. Okay? The personal is a myth. And the moment you bring in a personal, you have already brought in duality and you have spoiled the whole situation. That's why these dualists, you know what they say? Duality is needed for bhakti. That is what they say. We say, no, you are wrong. Duality is not needed for bhakti. Duality is an obstacle for bhakti. Because in duality, you want to retain yourself as a separate entity. That is not bhakti. Suppose the newly married couple and the young lady comes into the house and says, I love all of you and from today me and my husband live separately. Is that love? No, that is not love. Similarly, I love God, I worship God, I am a bhakta, but I am separate from God and therefore God is separate from me. Is that bhakti? Separateness is selfishness, not bhakti. We don't accept it. Therefore, there is nothing personal. The speaker speaks because of that higher power. Nothing personal in it. And you look at your life, there is in your life, you have to understand this higher power. That is bhakti. That's why I am explaining what is bhakti. Because the Maharshi started with jnanam, then he spoke about bhakti, second verse. Now he is continuing that bhakti in the first line. And he reverts to jnanam in the second half. He is playing like that. Therefore, in the bhakti, the understanding of bhakti, you have to look at it like this, that higher power. You see, I tell you, you say God, God, God 100 times in a day, 10 times in a day. But do you have godliness in you? Without having godliness, just to say God, 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 that is not bhakti. So, you look at your life. There are two natural orders in your life. Two natural. Natural means they are there from the very beginning. Sahaja. Two orders. One is a personal order, personal and predictable. Means I will have my breakfast. So you decide that. And what you will have in breakfast, some fruits and bread I will have. You decide that. And then I will have a cup of coffee. You decide that. I will attend a Vedanta class. You decide that. There seems to be a personal order, Many things you do by your own volition. And you can predict what you are going to do. You can predict because you deliberate and do. And then there is an impersonal or supra-personal order in your life. A supra-personal order. Means suddenly you purchase a flight ticket and you want to go to the airport, and then the weather, there is fog and the flight is cancelled. Why there is fog? Because the wind is blowing from there, it brings a lot of moisture, this or that. Now why the wind is blowing? Because the earth is going round the sun in a particular way. Why the earth is going round the sun? No, because that is how the galaxy is made. This is the supra-personal order. Therefore your flight is cancelled because of the galaxy situation. It is like that. This world is like that, I tell you. That's why, do you know how to wonder? That amazement, do you have it in you? Or you don't have? Oh, pura gaya. When you become very worldly, you lose that amazement. And once you lose the amazement, you are not a bhakta, you are not a Vedanti. Vedanta is not by hearting definitions. I attended a Vedanta class. There are 5 organs of action. How many? 5. What are they? And then I was waiting and waiting and waiting. But the count continued. 5 plus 5. Then the class is over. So, that is not Vedanta. Did you ever wonder about how come this entire universe originates from here? Did you wonder? No, we never wondered. How long you are studying Vedanta? Some 15 years. Go and sit on the tree. You have nothing to do with Vedanta. You don't know what is Vedanta. You see, people collect words. All words are collected. And when you collect words, they get organized into sentences. That syntax is an inbuilt mechanism in the brain. So they get organized into sentences. The sentences create structures, mental structures. You think that is Vedanta. That is not Vedanta. That is Devanta, no, not Vedanta. Suppose you wonder, how come that inner light, there is a light inside, and I am that light, not this mass of flesh and bones, I am that light. What kind of light it is? That wonder, you will know yourself. Similarly, bhakti, God. The hair stands on its end when you think of God. What is God? The higher power, the cosmic power. That is God. Not some gentleman standing somewhere, all dressed up. So, therefore, that supra-personal order. You call the personal order the lower nature and the supra-personal order as the higher nature. There are two. Now as your understanding grows, as you become more and more sensitive, understanding, then the area of personal order recedes and recedes. Suprapersonal expands and expands to a point where there is no personal is left. It is all suprapersonal. Such a person is called a jnani. He is the bhakta. Jnani alone is the bhakta. That is bhakti. Therefore, what you consider as personal presently, it is there as personal, separate from the suprapersonal, only because of immaturity and ignorance of the mind. As the mind matures and the illusions, the illusion of the personal order, that I am commanding things, I lead my life, I eat my food. So this kind of the personal order, you cling to it due to an illusion, and as that illusion becomes weaker and then it is gone, there is no personal order left. There is all impersonal alone is there. Like the wave merges in the ocean, the jiva merges in the Ishvara or Brahman. That is that higher power we are talking about. So you contemplate that higher power in that way, that is the bhakti. Because kaschid apara shakti, there is a universal power. You see, you say you are active. Ramana Maharshi, once this discussion came, a person told, Maharshi, I want to discuss with you. I came from a long distance. From where did you come? From Chennai. How did you come? I came by train, and then I took a jetka or a rickshaw, and then I am here. I travelled a long distance and arrived here. Then the Maharshi told, you did not travel. The train travelled and the rickshaw travelled. You did not travel. You were sitting. And also you were sleeping. In the rickshaw also you must have slept. Certainly in the train you were sleeping. You did not travel. That is what Maharshi said. Therefore, I am asking, are you active ever? Are you active? No. You are not active. You are not the actor. That is what I mean. The unknown and unknowable higher power acts, and you imagine you are acting. That is the understanding. So you are not acting. You are, you see, one example can be given. You are like a patient upon whom the anesthetics are applied and the surgery was performed. And the anesthesia is over, you wake up. And then, so much is done upon you. Nothing is done by you. Right? That is what life is. So, you believe, the person, he comes out of the operation theatre, or he comes out of anesthesia, or maybe he comes out of the hospital and boasts before people, I have got an operation done upon me. That is what he boasts. I got operated. No, what happened to that block or whatever? No, I got it removed. And now I got a stent placed there. As if he has done something, that is what he boasts. Then somebody asked me in Saraswathi, at least he has to permit, he has to give permission, he has to sign a piece of paper, in modern times. In India, you need not do all that. They will do piece of paper, later they will see, if needed. So, elsewhere you have to sign at least some dozen signatures are required. So all that I have done, at least something I have done. No, you have not done it. You are made to do. Your illness, the pressure of the physician and the pressure of the medical people, the pressure of the family members made you submit yourself You did not submit out of your own volition. Therefore, there is no personal volition in that. There is only an illusion of personal control. No personal control. So this is our life. You don't have any choice, you don't have any freedom or whatever. You only have an illusion of the choice. Okay? Therefore, so you have to realize that that higher power is doing everything. You are not the karta, you are a karta. You are not doing anything. So, you are watching what all that is going on. You are watching. Anyway, so everything is happening because of that mysterious power. Mysterious in the sense you cannot describe it in words and you cannot even imagine its glory. That is the mysterious power. It creates everything and it moves everything. Like the blood in your body which is always circulating. Who is circulating it? And who determines the composition of that blood? You give a blood for testing all the time, every 6 months or 1 year. Some people more often than that. They give a blood for testing. And then they anxiously wait for the result. Because they do not determine the composition of the blood. Some other power determines the composition of the blood. Like that. A cell, what mischief it is doing, what good things it is doing, it is not. You don't even know what is going on. Sometimes the cell, mostly the cell is doing many good things, and occasionally it is doing some mischief also. You are not in control of anything. You don't have a say in any of that. That mysterious power which creates and moves everything. So if you say you are a bhakta, then be a bhakta in the proper way. Be a bhakta properly. Unless you have a tremendous understanding, there is no bhakti possible. So love, there was a question about love. I will come to that also eventually, maybe in the satsanga. Therefore, realize that you are not the mover. You are not the mover. Meaning you are not the doer. You are only the watcher. You are the watcher. You are the witness. Realize that. So kaschidapa, that is bhakti. Kaschidapara shakti. And by realizing that, you will be at peace. You will be at peace. So, then one more realization has to come. It will come. But first realize this much. You know what will be that realization? That power, that mysterious power which moves everything, which creates and moves everything, is not separate from you. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. That is the second line. That is jnanam. First line is bhakti. So I am describing bhakti. Then I will come to jnanam. So, therefore, that fact is there, that you are not separate from that higher power is there. But you cannot begin there. You have to begin here. How? By understanding the mysterious power is the prime mover. And I am not the mover. You must begin there. Then who am I? I am the observer or watcher, witness. What is a witness? What is a witness? Suppose you are emotionally involved or you are passionate about things that happen. That is not a witness. Okay, I agree that a mysterious power is moving everything. I agree. And that is moving. But some of the movements I like, but some I don't like. Are? What is this? That is not a dispassionate observer. A dispassionate observer is one who observes without any conditioning, without any prejudice, without any notion, with an entirely open mind. A dispassionate observer observes. A dispassionate observer is like a scientist. experimental scientist. There is a book, the name of the, you know what is the name of the book? Observation book. That is how it is printed on the cover, observation book. And the student holds that book with a pen in his hand and he observes. So one, in a nuclear reactor on a small scale was being installed, and then a scientist in Russia in those days, he was watching what is going on. Then he observed a blue glow. The reaction is going on, heat is coming, steam is coming, generator is going, electricity is being produced. Everything is going as per expected based on earlier experiments and theory and all that. But he noticed, he was an observer, he was observing. Nobody else noticed. 100 people are watching it. But this man noticed there is a glow, blue glow. That blue glow is called, his name is Chenakov. And that blue glow is called Chenakov radiation. And he was given a Nobel Prize for that, I tell you. And there is so much physics to explain that glow. Some Maxwell equation, this, that, so much physics. Mathematical, highly mathematical. The universe is mathematical, as one of our friends is suggesting. So, so many equations come into play, creating that glow. And they were stunned by this observation, and he was given a Nobel Prize. So that is the dispassionate observer, a scientist. A scientist is a dispassionate observer. A scientist puts the experiment, I want this result, get it, like our bhaktas. So I do the puja, I want that result. Even before doing the puja, first ascertain that you will get the result, and then do it. Dekho. And if something is said about it, oh, he is against rituals. Yeah, naturally, a ritual, you make a deal with God, I will offer this to you, and you should reward me this way. Understood? Yes, understood. Okay, let us start. So, is that bhakti you call it? It is a trade, not bhakti. Therefore, you be a dispassionate observer. Be a dispassionate observer, then only you will begin there. Begin by a dispassionate observer. When you remain a dispassionate observer, a wonder arises in your heart. A wonder. Look at this higher power. Look at its glory. What is it doing all around? And what is it doing within? Look at that. It makes the hair grow. Then it makes the hair fall off. Then it makes the hair turn white. What not? Everything it is doing. Look at its glory, wonder. Now you want to name it, you need not. It is nameless. If you want to name it, you are welcome, but it is nameless. By the time you want to name it and then you name it, the wonder is gone. Did you notice that? The wonder is gone. Naming is not bhakti, and doing is not bhakti. The wonder is bhakti. One Mahatma used to say, one who doesn't know how to wonder cannot be a devotee. So when you look at the sun, the rising sun, did you ever wonder? Try to wonder. Know the meaning of Gayatri, and that makes you thumb-struck. Now, whatever, something like thunderstruck. Is it so? That infinite power and that which is here, they are same. Are you kidding? That is the bhakti. That is the wonder. So, under Ramana Maharshi, he refuses to name it. He doesn't name it. It is not for him to name. Kaschit, he says. In Gita also we come across this Kaschit dhiraha, pratyagatma namaikshat. That is Kathopanishad. Kaschin mam tattvato vetti, something like that. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit. That is the kaschit. Means wondrous. That is the kaschit. Indescribable. That is how we used to say when we were kids studying kavyas, where the kaschit comes. We used to translate it as indescribable, anirvachyamaina, something like that we used to say. You cannot describe it. Kaschit. The power has no bounds. Apara Shakti. That is the power. And that you can call God. So, then the output of that power, the output. What is the output? Means karya. Now, till now we have looked at karana, the power, higher power, nidanam. And what is its output? Karya, jagat. And aham, jagataha ahamascha. What is the nature of this output? The power is real. The output is also real. Then you will have what is called duality, dvaitam. Okay? Suppose the output and the power are not separate. Then which is real? Output is real or the power is real? They are not separate, they are one. Then which is that one? The output or the power, the universal power, the universal power. Then what is this output? You have to talk about the output because you are experiencing it. It is visible. It is seen. Drishya. If it is not seen, you need not explain it. You need not explain the origin of the rabbit's horn. You need not explain. Because it doesn't exist. Okay? But you have to explain the serpent. The rope serpent you have to explain. Why should I explain rope serpent? It also doesn't exist. True, a rope serpent doesn't exist, वो तो नहीं है और है rope serpent है या नहीं है नहीं है that rabbit's horn है या नहीं नहीं therefore rope serpent and rabbit's horn are one and the same ontologically they are one and the same non-existent. Then why don't you just keep quiet? Why do you want to explain rope serpent? Why don't you follow the same method as you follow with the horn, rabbit's horn? Rabbit's horn doesn't appear. Rope serpent appears. Therefore you are obliged to explain. You have to explain. Therefore the Jagat is not like a rabbit's horn. If it is like a rabbit's horn, we will not be talking about it and its cause. It is like a rope serpent. This is Vedanta. Okay? Therefore, you don't have any other ideas about it. Okay? Now, rope serpent. When you want an example for mithya, rope serpent. Rajvam bhujangama iva pratibhasitam pai. So the Jagat is like the rope serpent. Now, if you look at the rope serpent example, there must be something there, the rope, that must be, these are the must. The rope must be there. Then only you see serpent. Otherwise you won't see. If there is nothing, you won't see serpent. The rope must be there. And the light also must be there, but not enough. 3 conditions you have to satisfy. Not 3, some more are there. Rope must be there, light must be there, and it is not enough. 3rd condition. And then you know that there is a thing called serpent in the world. You know. 4th condition. And 5th condition, the serpent and rope resemble each other and you know that. 5th condition, when these 5 conditions are fulfilled, you end up seeing a serpent. Now I explained you the rope serpent. Right? I explained the rope serpent. Can I explain the horn of a rabbit? I cannot. I need not. I can explain the rope serpent. I need to. Therefore, so this aspect, that higher power, it creates and moves everything. Not just creates and keeps quiet. It creates and moves everything. That is the difference between some of these faiths where it just creates and sits somewhere else. This is extra cosmic. God is extra cosmic. We are not talking of extra cosmic God. We are talking of God who is antaryami, means who creates and moves. Like gold creates the necklace and keeps it going. Okay? Therefore, so that aspect, namely the output, its nature, and then its connection, its standing vis-a-vis the origin, the higher power. Therefore, so this aspect, that higher power, it creates and moves everything. Not just creates and keeps quiet. It creates and moves everything. That is the difference between some of these faiths where it just creates and sits somewhere else. This is extra cosmic. God is extra cosmic. We are not talking of extra cosmic God. We are talking of God who is antaryami, means who creates and moves. Like gold creates the necklace and keeps it going. Okay? Therefore, so that aspect, namely the output, its nature, and then its connection, its standing vis-a-vis the origin, the higher power, that has to be properly appreciated, and that comes in the second line. The first line is bhakti. The first half is bhakti, the second half is jnanam. Both can be nicely merged. So we'll continue in the evening class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam